Hello everyone. This game is really eye-catching. I was searching on a database of some Queen's Pawn games because recently I switched from my King's Pawn opening to Queen's Pawn, and I got this game, and it was played by none other than our Grandmaster and World Champion Gukesh. And this game was from the Chennai Olympiad. Like it was played in the Olympiad where was that was the first time where I saw super grandmasters, and I also like went there to, to play this celebration tournament in Chennai. So uh, let's get started with this game. Straight to the game. We have pawn to d4, the queen's pawn opening. As I said, it's not the king's pawn, so we have d5. The simple just d4, d5, and now c4, the queen's gambit, and it's very popular. You might have heard heard one Netflix series also on Queen's Gambit. This is the Queen's Gambit, and we have e6, the Queen's Gambit decline, and now knight f3, knight f6, and knight c3. So this is the position of the standard position of Queen's Gambit. Now, what do you want to play here as black? You can go bishop b4, or you may want to play something like bishop e7. Bishop b4 is the Ragozin variation. So here the Ragozin was played, and it's considered as one of the most solid openings in chess also. And Gukesh also has played this with black like earlier, and so we can check out that game also after a few days. So I will be posting a game of that also. So how Gukesh played this as black. And here one of the most trending line, like what you play, maybe you want to play e3 or maybe queen c2, but here the move that was played is queen a4 check. Now it is a very trending move. Like it comes with a check on the king and attack on the bishop. So this move forces black to play knight c6. Now by playing knight c6, what black will not be having in this position is the pawn to c5 move. Pawn to c5, the advance of the c pawn. Because in these kind of positions, black really wants to play pawn c5 and then knight c6. But here black has to play first knight c6 because the bishop is hanging. So knight c6 was played here, and now we have e3. Just a normal, going for the developing area, castles. And yeah, one more thing about queen a4 move is that white aims to do the queenside castling also. So we'll see this in the game also. Bishop d2, just unpinning this knight, and yeah, like you can play queen c2 also in some lines, and so yeah, here black has to play something. Like what you decide, you can play something like captures, and then bishop takes back, and that was played in the game. So here he simply takes on the pawn, and now bishop takes back, and now bishop d6 goes back with the bishop. uh, like yeah, you pin it, and then you're going it back. It is also kind of taking it simply gives advantage to white only, because then pawn takes and white will have a good center. So that doesn't make sense. Now queen c2 comes back with the queen because there is no use of the queen on a4. Pawn e5 strikes in the center of the board, and you should capture it here. So we have takes, and now knight takes back. Now the knight takes back comes with an attack on your bishop. Like this bishop is hanging. What you want to do? You want to move the bishop to b3 or maybe e2. In the game, Gukesh plays bishop e2. It's a very rare move, and you will see the reason why. Like the reason is not that if the knight takes, we should take it back with the bishop. The reason is that that you want to keep this bishop for future attacks, and like it's a really interesting idea. You will see, you're going to see this game, so you will see how this bishop is really helpful on this diagonal, and I'll show you. So here knight takes f3, and now instead of taking with the bishop, as I mentioned, g takes back, g takes f3, opening up the g file, and now aiming to do the queenside castle. And so yeah, we have so now black is clear that white is going to do the queenside castling. So he start playing a6, planning to play the b5, some expansion on the queen side. So now that we have queenside castle here. Now white's attack will like here, white's attack will, look a little scarier than black. There is no hook on the queen side for black to use in order to open the position, but there are no open files on this side. But here, if you see, white is gonna, do something. So b5, and now rook hg1. So it just makes sense, bringing the rook to the shift your rook to the open file, semi-open file. And now we have b4. Now this seems a little mistake. It's not seems, but it seems that black is going very quick. Black is having doing some impatience move. But the main reason of playing b4, it seems that okay, you play b4 and the knight has to move. This is what white wants and takes. The main reason of b4 is that white will never play bishop c3 on this long diagonal. Look at that. So that's what that's the reason of playing pawn to b4. The purpose is that to control the c3 square, so that bishop doesn't come on this long diagonal with a lot of pressure on g7. So we have knight e4, and now knight takes back, and yeah, taking with the queen sort of delays the attack. I'll show you why. Let's say if you take with the queen, then after rook b8, what do you do here? Let's say you play bishop b3 threatening mate, then g6, and now your attacks is completely slow. How you are going to use the rook file, that's the thing. So that is why after knight cross e4, Gukesh take with the f pawn, planning to play pawn f4 and then e5. So this makes sense. It's pretty strong. Like instead of capturing with the queen, f takes e4 is stronger. So queen e7, because now if you don't move the queen e7, white is having this threat. White is creating this threat now because the bishop can't take, because the rook will be pinning the queen. So that is why queen e7 protects the pawn, and now f4 simply as planned, and now a5 just strengthening the pawn onto b4. And a5 is also very ambitious move because yeah, like I said, it's protecting the b4 pawn. And now the move that was played is pawn to e5, like not giving any chance to black, like just going with the attacks. And now there is only one square for the bishop to go, that is bishop c5. And now the move that was played, it's kind of, we can say it's a kind of candidate's move, because it ensures your future attacks also. Rook g5, like you want to double up the rook. Now the question is, yeah, you might ask that why not rook g2, rook g3, or rook g4? That will also be helping you to double up the rooks. I'll show you why. So rook g5 and bishop a6, offering a bishop exchange, but white simply goes with rook dg1, threatening mate. Now you can't take the bishop because rook g7, king h8, and queen h7 comes with a checkmate. This queen is the way. So here g6, and now bishop takes a6, rook takes a6. And now the move that was played here, and now this move will make sure that why rook g5 was important, because now f5, this is the move. Now the thing is, if your rook is on g3 or g4 or g2, f5 will not be possible, because then queen will simply take this e5 pawn. And now with the rook on g5, this queen takes e5 is not possible. Why? Because then if pawn takes pawn, it comes with an skewer on the queen and the bishop. Like you will lose the bishop. So that is why queen takes e5 is not possible here. So black moves the bishop back to a7, and now we have like here king b1 was immediate winning move. Like you should be playing king b1. And for black also, instead of moving the, I would just want to show you some line here. Instead of playing the bishop to back to a7, rook c6 is the best way to defense. It's the best way, because now it comes with some threats. Like if the rook gets defended, then bishop takes d6 will be a very great threat here. Bishop takes e3 will be a very great threat. But he played immediate bishop e7, and that's a little mistake. And here Gukesh should have played king b1 and then planning the attack, but he goes very immediate e6. The only flaw in this game. And e6 both of the players missed. With this e6 move, black has to just play very simply. Like black can just play very simple chess here. He can take it, and if pawn takes pawn, then h6. And now white's attack is, it's very slow now. Like how will you continue this? Your file is getting closed, and now you don't have enough pieces on the king side. So Black should have taken this pawn, but what Black played, that gives that was the like this was the only moment where Black was having a chance to come back. But then King H8, now it's everything. Like Black loses everything, not loses everything, but he misses his all the chance. And now Gukesh starts his move, and he finishes in his style. So King B1 he played, and now we have G takes F5, and this is the move, like opening up the file, rook file, and here this is the crucial moment, and you might want to solve this position. So I will give you a couple of seconds to solve it. You can pause the video and try to solve. It's a really interesting position. How do you like? It's a very calculative. So here, Gukesh played bishop cross b4, giving up a full bishop. Now the reason is it's very very basic tactic and fundamental tactic in chess, clearance, clearing of the g2 square to come like to bring the queen into the game and finish it off. So here we have queen cross b4 and now queen g2 and queen e4 check. Black thought that okay, let's exchange the queen, so it will be good. But then queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, and now the move that you have to find is pawn to e7. The whole point of sacrificing your bishop on b4 is this move. Rook has to move, and now rook g8 check, rook g8, rook g8, king g8, and now e8, like promotions. This is unstoppable now. Like what you do, king g7, queen e5 check, rook blocks, and now rook queen g5 check. Like you can't move the queen away, king away, because you lose the rook. So rook g6, and now queen cross a5. Here rook g1 check was played, and king c2, rook g2, king b3. Now the king is very safe here, and here okay, the bishop is under attack, so you can't take this pawn. So bishop b6 was played, and now again queen e5 check, saves the pawn also, and king has to go to f8, and now queen h8 check, king e7, and now queen cross h7. So here he played rook e2, and now again, now this rook is lost. Like you can't. This is the blunder here. You can't save the rook because now queen takes e5, and now look at this. A lot of double attacks will be coming. You can't go to the d file because this check picks up the rook. You can't go to f6 because again this check picks up the rook. So only move that you have to play is king f8, and now queen b4 check. Now wherever you move the king, you are going to lose the rook. If you move it to g file, this check comes with an attack on the rook, and if you move it here, this check comes with an attack on the rook. So no matter what you do, you lose the rook. So yeah, so here Black simply resigned, and this is the one of the wonderful demonstration of posing problems by Gukesh in the Chennai Olympiad. I hope you like the way. I hope you enjoyed this game. So yeah, that is it.